So that statue you see right behind me is of Alexander the Great of Macedonia. Right now I am in Skopje, the capital of the modern-day Republic of Macedonia or North Macedonia. And in this video, I'll cover my experience of getting to this country and my first stay in Macedonia. So it's 10:30 a.m. and I don't know exactly where I am, but I'm in Albania. And I got on a bus from Tirana at 9 a.m. which I barely caught by 2 minutes because I was fixing some subtitles for a video that I was uploading. And we're stopped here for 20 minutes and today I'm headed to Macedonia, or North Macedonia as it's now called. This is the first stop. I slept like 3 hours yesterday because I filmed like 10 short videos in the last week. Oh, doggy. This view is amazing. There's like a little stream over there. Although I'm wearing a t-shirt, it's kind of cold right now. I think it's like 12 degrees. I have a little bit of Albanian money left that I need to spend. Hello. I crossed the border into Macedonia and I'm at this like gas pump basically where a lot of trucks are refueling, and there's like a gas station where people are having coffees and cigarettes and using this for a bathroom break. That border crossing took forever, and it always takes forever because I took the same route 4 years ago. Because in the Albanian side, before you exit, they make you come out and like look through all your bags. So I had to explain to them why I have a GoPro camera, a drone, and how a gimbal works, and explain what is going on with all my electronics. Then after that, at the Albanian exit, like the visa control, they brought me in a room and they were like asking me everything about why I was in Albania for 6 weeks and all that stuff. Then I realized I gave them my old passport, not my current passport, so I gave them the new one and they let me go immediately. Then I went to the Macedonian side, border control. I had to go inside a room and they check my visa properly to make sure if I have the right visa to get in, because I'm a Bangladeshi citizen and we're not usually allowed to come in without a visa. But because I have a US visa, they were able to double check that for like 20-30 minutes. And this took a while, but people were like super friendly. The officials were super friendly and they were curious about Bangladeshi coming to Macedonia and Albania. At no point did I feel like they were rude. People in this part of Europe are very, very, very welcoming to foreigners. I've almost experienced no racism here the whole time I've been here. There's a reason I keep coming back to this region. The Balkans, people are super friendly. We're next to Lake Ohrid right now and we're gonna get on the bus soon and go to Skopje. And I'm guessing this is gonna take another 3.5 hours, I wanna say. Behind me is the flag of Macedonia, although it's like folded up there. So officially I am in Macedonia, or North Macedonia. It's not Macedonia, by the way, it's Macedonia. I don't know why we pronounce it wrong. So it's 2 p.m. We're stopping in another city. There's a massive Macedonian flag back there. This is a very chilly town with a lot of fog. It finally feels like winter has started for me in the second week of November. I'm not sure what's going on, but everyone except me on the bus got off on this city before Skopje, and this guy just started washing the bus. It's 5 p.m. and I just arrived in Skopje, and it's way too dark right now to film, and it's kind of cold too. I think it's 12 degrees. So I'm just gonna start filming again tomorrow. In the meantime, after So it's daylight again, and I am in Skopje, the capital city of North Macedonia, or Macedonia as most locals call it. And right now I am at the top of the fortress, which is situated in this very high hill next to the city that sort of like overlooks the whole city and the river and everything else. It's probably the best place to be around sunset, but I'm starting the day off here just for logistical reasons. So Skopje has been an important city for like thousands of years. There's records of people that inhabited this area more than 6,000 years ago. For the longest time, this city and this country, like a lot of other places in the Balkans, have been on the crossroads of different empires that were basically always fighting against each other. And that is reflected in the makeup of the population of Macedonia or Northern Macedonia today. You'll find people from different religions, you'll find people from different ethnicities, you'll find people speaking different language within this one small country of a few million people. This fortress itself is believed to have been built around 1500 years ago in the 6th century, and then it was taken over by the Byzantines and Ottomans or whoever ruled the area basically. So right next to the fortress is this huge mosque, which in my opinion is the most impressive mosque in the whole city of Skopje and probably in all of Macedonia. This was built in 1492 by the Ottomans and it's called the Mustafa Pasha Mosque. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a bunch of mosques that are like doing the call to prayer right now. And right next to one of these mosques is this brewery, which is one of the only craft breweries in Skopje, I think. Right next to the brewery is this church that's been around for a very long time and looks very different from the mosques. Something very interesting about this church is that this bell tower wasn't always here. So back in the day when the Ottomans were ruling the place, they had these laws that any other religious institutions, including churches, had to be hidden. They couldn't be like plainly out there like mosques. And they also had this rule that the bell towers of the churches could not be higher than the minarets of the nearby mosques. So this wasn't allowed to be as high up as it is now. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the old bazaar, which also has very heavy Ottoman influences. Take a look. So many different kinds of stores here, so many different kinds of food. So back in the day, basically every street in the old bazaar had its purpose and only sold one item. And that was like that not just here, but in Sarajevo and pretty much every other Ottoman town in the region that I can think about. But recently that has changed and there's like restaurants and different kind of shops in every street, except for this one street, which is the jewelry street, which is where you can still find just jewelry in most places. And that's apparently like a big part of culture in Macedonia, is that when like kids finish primary school, secondary school, someone gets married, someone's born, someone gets circumcised, the thing to do is like often family members give them gold. That's why buying jewelry is still very popular, it's still a big part of their culture. And that's why the street basically survived. Some shops on the street are also selling wedding outfits because I guess wedding goes hand in hand with jewelry. Okay, so I'm in this little square, it seems, right next to Old Town. And just went to an ATM and I got out some Macedonian denare. Plastic money. I like plastic money. And I don't think they use a lot of coins either, which is nice. And the exchange rate is $1 US to 61 Macedonian dinars right now. Okay, so back in Old Bazaar, I'm gonna try to find some food and make a separate food blog. If you're interested in Macedonian food, check that out. I'll link that in the description. So right now I'm in one of the main squares of Skopje, which is called Square of King Philip II. And in the middle of the square is this huge statue of King Philip II. This guy basically took over all of ancient Greece, and his empire obviously overlapped with modern day Macedonia or North Macedonia. And if you look at it closely, it looks like he's saying hi to someone else on the other side of the bridge. Now we're gonna check out the statue of his son, Alexander the Great. You know what's crazy is it's only 3:45 p.m. and it's already almost dark. So right in the middle of Skopje is the Vardar River, which is basically the reason this city was built. And there's like a million bridges going across this river. Probably the most famous one is the one I'm standing on right now, which is called the Stone Bridge and was built by the Ottomans in 1469. And this river is not really that deep over here. Earlier I saw a guy standing in knee-deep water and fishing over here. So right across the river from King Philip II Square is Macedonia Square, with probably the most famous statue in this whole country of Alexander the Great, the historical conqueror that conquered everything from ancient Macedonia all the way through the Middle East and North Africa, and then all the way through to almost India, and then died pretty young. So he did all of that at a pretty impressively young age. He's definitely considered one of the greatest conquerors in history. Now, the Greeks have an issue with Macedonians glorifying Alexander the Great because he's from a different part of Macedonia, which is in Greece today. And because of that, a couple of years back when I was here, Macedonia had to officially change the name of the statue to Man on a Horse, not call it the Alexander the Great statue, even though this was a statue of him. And then after that, eventually, they had to change the name of the whole country to make Greece happy so they could try to join NATO or try to join the EU. When I was last here, this country was just called Macedonia. Now it's officially called North Macedonia, although the locals still just call it Macedonia. So a bit of interesting rivalry going on here. Another thing I want to say about all the architecture here and all the statues, these haven't been here forever. They were basically created in 2014 when the city decided to go on a massive remodeling project and try to make all these statues to make the city more attractive. So basically right next to Macedonia Square is this memorial to the humanitarian and Nobel Peace Prize winner Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa was of Albanian heritage, but she was born in the city of Skopje in a house that was basically right here, that didn't survive the earthquake that we'll talk about later. So she was born in Skopje, which was a Ottoman territory 112 years ago, went on to become a Catholic nun and a world famous humanitarian and made the country very proud. She grew up mostly here too, but eventually she left the city and left Europe and moved to West Bengal and Calcutta with her life's mission of serving the poorest of the poor through her faith of Catholic Christianity. And right next to this memorial, you'll see is this huge arch that honestly looks a lot like Paris's Arc de Triomphe. So right in the middle of the city is this huge shopping mall that's essentially an open shopping mall, which is kind of a unique concept. I don't think I've seen this in a lot of places. You can pretty much walk through this mall next to shops and like see the sky above you. It probably gets pretty wild when it's like snowing or raining really hard. In another recent development, the city of Skopje decided to make all these like fancy fake ships right near the center on the river. And it looks kind of absurd because these ships are higher or significantly higher than the bridges that are right next to it. Okay, so it got too dark yesterday, so I had to stop filming, but there's like one more stop I want to cover before I catch my flight and leave Macedonia. This is a museum in Skopje. It used to be the old train station, and if you look at the clock that's on the wall over there, it's frozen at 5:17 a.m. That's because on a July morning in 1963, Skopje had, unfortunately, one of its most defining moments. At that exact time, there was a massive earthquake that destroyed 80% of the city and killed more than 1,000 people. And the city was devastated. In a response to that, what's interesting is that all of Yugoslavia came together to help the city. All of the people from the nearby towns came to like rescue the people that were trapped and that were suffering, and even the whole international community sort of came to the rescue for Skopje because they wanted to save the people.
Where are you from?
Bangladesh.
You understand English?
Yes, yeah.
This Hotel Bristol,
Yeah.
in my time,
Yeah.
when I was young, that was last
Really?
last
Okay. Okay. Ciao. Was not expecting that. But yeah, because the international communities came together to help Skopje or Macedonia in its time of need, people ended up renaming a lot of buildings, a lot of quarters after the different countries or after the different cities where the people came to help. In my short time in Macedonia, I've noticed that the people are really friendly. They're friendly in general in the Balkans towards foreigners, but people are really friendly here too. And someone told me, who's from Macedonia, that it has a lot to do with being thankful with how the international community responded to Macedonia when it needed help. Alright guys, that is gonna be it for this video because I have 40 minutes to go back home, finish packing, and then catch a bus that gets to the airport. I really wish I had more time to show what's in Skopje. There's some really cool stuff like this mountain next to the city with a huge 20-30 meter, maybe 60 meter cross on it. There's the Mosque Canyon nearby, and there's just a lot more culture and history, especially history from the last 100 years or so. That would be very interesting to discuss, but I severely underestimated how cold it is in the mornings and how quickly it gets super dark. So I didn't get to like film a lot of the things that I was hoping to cover. Hopefully I can come back someday, you know, do a more deeper dive into the culture and history of this place. I was about to finish the video, then I saw the historic Parliament building right next to me, so I figured I would show you guys that. A lot of stuff has happened in there over the last couple of centuries. So along with a copy of the Arc de Triomphe, Skopje also has its own mini version of the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. So I guess you can see every city in Europe if you come to Skopje. So I forgot to film the outro because I was running late. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Nadir on the go if you want real-time updates. I'll catch you guys in the next one from Asia.